And that brings me to Jessica Fernandez. I don't know who Jessica Fernandez is. However, I'm told she's a Twitch partner. Okay, I don't know. All I know is she posted this absurd video, and it now has over 40 million views on Twitter, over 660,000 on TikTok, and I could go on. Now, for the listening audience, stay with me because she's hard to hear, and it's not going to be that meaningful to you. It's more meaningful to the YouTubers, but I'm going to explain to the listening audience what we're seeing. It's this young woman in the gym in I wouldn't say she's covered up. She's got sort of the skimpy gym outfit on. She's doing her little workout, like her hip thrusts. And in the back, you see a man who's, I think, minding his own business. And as I can count it, maybe once looks over at her. She's filming herself, muttering expletives into her camera, her microphone, which she's holding. And then he comes over and offers to help her reload the weights. Here it is.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate when there's weirdos. It makes me so uncomfortable. Feral. Like fucking feral. Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
Jessica is outraged over this. Again, literally, if you watch this online, you'll see him look at her, I think, one time and probably because she's holding her big camera up. Okay, these are her tweets, gals. This guy kept making me extremely uncomfortable at the gym. This is why I'll end up crying on stream because I feel so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization I experience. Hopefully this spreads awareness for girls who experience this type of treatment at the gym. And she goes on. I can see how this makes me look like I have an inflated ego, but I am an attractive girl in a beauty standard sense, and I get extremely sexually harassed online, and it makes trusting random strangers that approach me trigger my trauma. Oh my God. Which is why I respond this way. And she goes on to add, I'm also extremely antisocial, and being hit on is never a compliment to me. I despise being sexualized. So raise your hand if you believe any of that, if you believe one word of what she just tweeted. No hands up.
Nope.
No hands up, Amala, because she clearly does not mind being sexualized. It seems to be her bread and butter, but she loves to play the victim.
Oh, yeah, this is peak victimhood culture, and we're seeing it all over the place now. If you go to that girl's Instagram, you'll see pictures of her butt in the mirror. You'll see her in a Playboy bunny costume. So she really hates being sexualized by people on the internet. She despises it. And really, what this is, and in a broader sense, is such a disservice to women because there are actual women who go to the gym and who maybe are harassed by men, or maybe there are perverts who are coming up to these women and trying to engage in some sort of activity that we would view as unsavory. But because we are in this believe all women phase where you can quite literally take a video of a man doing no wrong, post it on the internet, accuse him of doing wrong, and have him be attacked. It's just like we do not know our heads from our asses anymore in this culture.
Yes.
And she deserves to be called out for it. And she has been, luckily.
Yes, Evita, she's got, it's a fan house account, which is apparently a competitor to OnlyFans, where you go on there and you post all this saucy stuff because you want to be admired and charge people for it. And she's like, all DMs will be responded to directly. And so, okay, so this person is not someone who despises being sexualized and feels so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization she experiences. She's experiencing it because she's literally putting out sexualized content and asking people to message her about it.
She's clearly not someone who cares about being sexualized whatsoever. Otherwise, she'd make money in a different way. But I think what was so interesting is the phrasing, right? She said that he's making me so uncomfortable. She feels so scared and terrified and traumatized by the whole thing. The only person that's making people in the gym uncomfortable are the people that record themselves in the gym, and then you're in their shop. I've gone to the gym with several people in college. I go to the gym and people, especially newbies, they don't want to be recorded while they're trying to work out. And these excessively narcissistic gym culture girls will come to the gym with their cameras and their lighting and their makeup on while they're working out, and expect all of us to step out of frame. It's ridiculous. She's the one making people uncomfortable. This man was clearly minding his own business, and it was so wrong of her to put him on blast for the whole internet to then call him some creep, when again the real weirdo is her for recording everyone in the gym.
Right. I haven't been to a gym forever. Otherwise, I'd probably know about this trend. But how uncomfortable. No, I wouldn't want to be somebody's background of their live stream or their video shot. And she falsely maligned this guy. I mean, it would have been even worse for him, maybe, if she didn't have the camera and she went online and did one of the tearful, like, I got sexualized and I got harassed. And then we'd be wondering, like, who did this, right? Like this guy, whatever, who knew, his name might have come out. He would have been unfairly smeared. This, ladies, is why we have a headline in the news today, which, I mean, it'll come to the surprise of nobody. Time's Up is closing. It's done. It's officially done. I don't know if you knew it was still around, but there's a reason that Time's Up was not able to sustain itself. This organization that was so lauded, $24 million of money poured into that organization in 2018 when they first formed at the height of the Me Too movement, with an original mission that was noble, right? To help women who'd been harassed in the workplace fight back, fight for their legal rights. And boy, did they run far afield. Just to take you back on the messaging when this thing was first born and the amount of star power behind it. This is, I think, the Golden Globes 2018.
1, 2, 3, Time's Up!
So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon.
Folks, time's up.
I have daughters. Like, I don't want this stuff happening.
I thought that I would have to raise my daughter to learn how to protect herself and defend herself against the world. And what I've realized is that we can hand our daughters a different world.
It's very, very beautiful and exciting, and saying that time is up.
Even in the music business, we haven't even touched that ball of wax, or whatever we want to call it.
A lot of things have come out of the darkness and into the light.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
You know what? No one has spoken up now. This organization is halting its operations, is giving the paltry amount, like $1.7 million it has left to its legal defense fund. And none of those actresses that I remember came out when this organization was imploding. Why? Because when Andrew Cuomo got accused, they sided with him. They advised him, not those women, but the head of Time's Up at the time, advised, I think her name is Tina Chen, I'm trying to check it, and Roberta Kaplan. They advised him behind the scenes, and then Chen initially discouraged other Time's Up leaders from commenting publicly on the allegations being brought against him by Lindsey Boylan and others. They sided with him. Why? Because he's a Democrat. You and I both know it. And it wasn't just this incident. It was when Tara Reid came out and accused Joe Biden, and she went to Time's Up, and what's her name? Anita Dunn, who's running Biden's communication, was running their communication, and suddenly Time's Up didn't have the time to help Tara Reid in her quest against who? Another Democrat. This organization embarrassed itself. They were the Believe All Women crew. They crushed Brett Kavanaugh with allegations that were laughable from people like Julie Swetnick. And they did this to themselves. And I want to hear those actresses come out and say they're sorry and that they'll fund a new organization that gets back to mission focus of helping anyone, whether they're accusing a Democrat or a Republican who has been harassed at the office. Otherwise, they can pound sand. I wouldn't take their money and I wouldn't have the association with them. I'm fired up about this because it had a good cause. It could have helped a lot of people. And instead, they went partisan. And that's why they imploded. Okay. Amala, thoughts on that?
Yeah, how do I follow that? I will say that with Time's Up and hashtag Me Too, these are movements for the moment. It's only meant for the moment that they say them in. They want to virtue signal. They want to go to the Golden Globes and wear their pins and talk about how important this is to them. And it never lasts. It becomes partial to political parties, partial to females instead of men who come forward. Look at the story of Terry Crews, who tried to join the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement and was ridiculed for being a man hopping into the space. place. They don't care for actual looking into evidence and allegations, and they are partial to women who make false allegations, as we've seen with Amber Heard and many other women, much like the lady we just saw in the gym. What they do is they do what feels good to them. They do what furthers their own agenda. And I will say, much like you said, Megyn, the Time's Up movement and the Me Too movement could have been something good. We were correcting for past wrongs and past transgressions, but sometimes you overcorrect and your mind can be so open that your brain falls out. And that's what happened with Time's Up. So you won't hear them saying it anymore. You won't hear them saying #MeToo anymore because the movement exists in the moment and they move on.
The believe all women thing was the first death knell to Me Too,
Yep.
Evita. That was the first death knell during the Justice Cabinet. You just have to knee-jerk believe all women because we don't lie, I guess, because we got the double X instead of the XO. Right, okay. Everybody knew that's not how it worked. But then to actually put a point on it by denying the pleas of women who had been hurt by Democrats, there was no surviving that. There really wasn't. I mean, the women who went to Time's Up weren't all Democrats. They weren't all Republicans. They were women who were hurting, and this organization had no time for them. They only had time for their own partisan politics. We've seen it in industry after industry. When you're not on the right side of their woke battle, you're nothing to them. They don't care. If you're black and you have a heterodox view of BLM like you do, Amala, forget it. They don't care. You'll get called all the names. And you're for a woman who's accusing a Democrat, you're nothing to them. Like many people, I am eating healthier these days, and that's why I love good olive oil. And by good, I mean fresh. Freshness makes all the difference. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthiest nutrients when it's fresh from the farm. And that is the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can be sitting on that shelf for God knows how many months, growing stale. That is why I like my olive oil direct from small, award-winning farms. And I get it thanks to a guy named TJ Robinson, also known as the olive oil hunter. When I first tasted TJ's farm fresh oils, I fell in love with them. Vibrant, grassy, delicious flavors. They are amazing on salads, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, whatever you put olive oil on. And as an introduction to his fresh pressed olive oil club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils. It's worth $39. For just $1 charged to you, just one, to help him cover the shipping. Best of all, there's never a commitment to buy anything, and you can cancel your membership at any time. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 shipping and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to harvestfreshnow.com, harvestfreshnow.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 in shipping. harvestfreshnow.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.